Today, we're talking about reflections. Yes, the end of the year past us, we're in the new year, and what are we doing to do wicked things? But before we get into that, you guys know me, I'm Pip, Seymour Digital Media, same, and this is always my favorite to jump in there and say, this is Greg doing a face work.
Hey guys, I'm Greg with Original 72 Creative, and we are a full service website graphic design and digital marketing firm in Vancouver.
And our powers combined, we do cool stuff and we talk about interesting things, and it's super.
Cool stuff.
Greg, I'm trying to keep it together. Dell is here. Hey, Dell, we were just talking in Messenger, so super glad you're here today, Greg. As I said, I know this is totally your favorite time of year, and I seem to get all excited about this time of year, and you're all like, tomorrow's just another day, people. You wake up, you do that. I was like, oh. Remember, Greg, remember how exciting New Year's can be when you goal set?
No.
Make plans, change up things, right?
I was talking personally there, not business wise.
Ah, ah.
So many people are all like, oh my god, 2020 is going to be so great. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, or whatever they are going on about. And I'm like, the calendar just rolls over to a new year.
That's what.
Your life is not going to change on January 1st
No,
from.
January 1st, you're probably going to sleep in because you're hungover, potentially, right? For a lot of people, and January 1st, everybody's got the day off. So it's kind of annoying out in the world.
I tried to go for a walk. It was a beautiful day over here in the morning till maybe early afternoon, and there was I we tried to go to Deer Lake, and it was just so busy. We couldn't find anywhere to just park the car.
Interesting. Yeah, it was busy. There's a polar bear swim that happens here. So I do not take part. And I'm sure people get the year, right? I did the polar bear swim in 2020. Now, why, Greg? Why? This leads us right into our topic. Why do people want that T-shirt? You know, that says I did something last year. To reflect on it, Greg.
Sure.
So today we are actually talking about celebrating the past and looking forward. Um, in our household, every year now, we sit down, Phelan and I, and we literally take a big piece of paper and we write out all the successes we had last year that we felt were that we could remember, right? Like off the top of our head. It's actually a pretty inspiring thing to do, I might add.
Hmm.
Like last year was a big year for us. Like not only in my life, but in our group, we hit our whatever number we wanted to hit. We were gonna make T-shirts. We're gonna do that this year, Greg, for the people in the group and for ourselves. But
Hmm.
you know, the reason we celebrate the past is so that we can do better in the future. That's why everybody's maybe saying it's going to be a wicked year 2020. It's inspiring, the year.
Yeah. Everyone's gung ho at the beginning of the year. They want to do amazing things, and that's great, but they need to keep it up
Well,
because it's like a New Year's resolution. You can set a New Year's resolution, but you need to put something in place so that you can achieve and hit your New Year's resolution the whole year. Just like in business, when you're setting your goals, you need to set up these small steps to achieve your goals. So at the beginning of the year, everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But it's so important to have something in place that's going to help you actually achieve that as well. I know we're not talking about that today. We talked about that when we were doing goal setting, but it's so important.
they feed into each other. Susan's here. Hey, Susan. And Dell's saying he's gonna get a T-shirt. I'm putting that up, right? The T-shirt's gonna be really fun. Um, yeah, it's funny because where I think we all kind of fail. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but a lot of the time, you get discouraged when you don't hit your milestone or your goal, or you failed one day at your goal. You failed. It like because every day you want to be perfect, and and you don't claw your way back or reflect on what you've done like daily. Like, I mean, if you want to change your health and it's related to food and exercise, if you track, you know, you make a commitment and then you track what you do and then you see where you fall, you can make better changes, right? So uh,
Hmm.
and that, but that's why it's important to reflect on last year, I find, because that's where you're going to find like the little gold nuggets of where you did really well, you know, where you didn't excel, but like did. So here's a great question. Did you have an experience last year where you failed, right? And what did that failure lead you to? Like it might lead you to an accomplishment or a different way to do things, right? Like I took on a job opportunity and realized that they thought I was going to be the savior, and I was not. And I actually had to go to them and say I can't do this. And it was a failure for me. But in that failure it taught me what I had to dig deeper into to learn for my job. So I think that's one of the reasons we do.
You learned your limits.
I did, right? And I learned what I wanted to learn more about and what was important for my next steps of my job. Um, Parisma Slaw is here. I wish I could say your name. I'll probably privately message you. Greg might be better at the phonetics.
I can't see who's
Oh,
joining.
you're not looking at it right then.
No, well, I'm looking at it, but it's not showing me
Does
who's.
it show you all the people who've joined?
No.
Oh, interesting. You know, it doesn't actually let me invite people anymore either. So silly. So silly, Facebook. Okay, so Greg, now do you do anything with Jamie, or do you celebrate the past? Because we had a great year together, my friend. Right?
Yeah, it was a good year, I'd say, in general. Um, Not a lot happens in my life, business or personal. I'm just cruising along like I always am. So looking back, it's more a case of, yeah, things are still clicking.
You always make me smile because
I
I'm
don't.
so excited, and you're like so calm.
Well, this is one of the things I want people should really know about small business, entrepreneurship. There's so many highs and lows that you go through in a year, even in a week or a month.
For a day.
But you, I have learned to like just be even keel the entire way through and not be super high, super low, because when you get super high, you're like all jazzed, but then when you get super low, you're like
Oh,
low, low,
barrel.
low, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
those swings are just, and they're not good for you.
aren't they?
Constantly being up and down. So I've always been, yes, I got to win. Great, move on.
Mm.
Oh my God, that didn't work. Move on. Like I don't dwell on things that went bad, and I don't celebrate extreme, like to the extreme successes. They're just successes. Something happened that I wanted to happen. Great,
But
let's
here's the
do
thing.
it.
Here's the thing. So I mean, on there are two times a year that you're more likely to remember things, right? So one being New Year's, because around the world people generally celebrate that day, right?
Mhm.
And two, your birthday. So so it's easier to look back and see the things you've done in those two time periods. So to take note or stock, whether or not, yeah, you had a win or you had a loss, and I like that you're calm, cool, and collected. But there's also like you could get excited, like it won't kill you. But I know you're even keeled, and I know you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. See, I don't get really low. I don't know if it's just a weird thing. And sometimes maybe I get sad for sure. But I'm up a lot. I don't know. I don't know. So I can't help it. We're a little bit different in this thing. But, I celebrate the last year with you.
You've told me about some things that you
Oh, I've cried.
have not. been happy with in business or whatever, and I've talked you off your ledge
I
once in a while.
I will tell you, Greg, that I actually turn to you when I need to figure something out.
When you need a level head.
I no, I wait. I'll talk to a couple people, but I will make sure to talk to you. And usually, I have a piece of paper and a pen or a sticky pad because you say something meaningful and smart. And so, I really appreciate our relationship. I actually appreciate our relationship so much, and I don't think people really know that our getting together and doing lives every week was kind of on a whim, just like this group. And man, it's been fun and life changing. You're don't let this go to your head, okay? But you are probably one of my best friends. I know it's probably because we talk every week, but so I think that's a big deal. Now, but
You are probably, other than my wife, the person I talk to the most.
oh, and I think so. I think that's something to celebrate. Like, man, like I don't think I would have gotten this far without you. Just like in being able to be talked off the ledge sometimes. So something to celebrate, right? So that being said, hey Greg, we're gonna do this next year because it worked this year. We're gonna keep doing it, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I would say, like going on the whole like being up and being down like constantly, I
Hmm.
would challenge people to be a little bit less extreme, like super high, super low. Especially don't be super low. Like when you have a loss or something goes wrong, don't dwell on it. Move on, learn from it right away, and power, if you can, reflect immediately and be like, yeah, I won't do that again, and move on. Or don't do anything at the time, and when you come to your end of year and you reflect on everything, that's when you reflect and think, okay, well, that I didn't do well, or did that wrong, or that wasn't right, whatever it is, and then put something in place when you're doing that process of reflecting on what was good and what was bad about the last year. But don't spend too much time on it at the moment it happens, because that'll just weigh you down, and other things will spiral a little bit.
It is hard sometimes to get out of that, right? But yeah, you got to find the good. I mean, you're in control of how you perceive things, as weird as that sounds. Um, so you got to change, like, what was the positive out of it, blah, 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 right? Like those, I 100% agree. Um, I probably have to do that too. Sometimes I dwell. Hey, Grim is here. Hey, long time, buddy. Awesome. Are you celebrating last year? Did you have a good last year? We're talking about celebrating last year so that we can move forward and excel at what we're trying to do. So, like, we're gonna do these lives next year, Greg. And if you guys want us to talk about anything, you should let us know because we sit back and create topics every month. But Greg, so
We tried to.
we celebrated the last year, yeah.
Yes.
Um, and we know that the lives worked. What else was something? Was there something else that really worked well in your life last year that you're gonna keep going with?
uh I can't think of anything specific that I did wrong or changed that.
This year, so guys, I don't know if you know this, but Greg is usually a smidge late whenever we're doing these lives. So I challenge you, Greg, for this coming year, be a smidge earlier. Yeah. Yeah. So you're not, so do you ask yourself these questions? Because for me, I think one thing, so things I would keep: Facebook Live, super fun. They keep me on target. They keep me um, honest with myself, right? And they keep the commitment is real. Um, that being said, I need to organize my marketing a little differently. But I also ask myself a really important question, and something we all, I think, need to do, which is, what are you going to throw out? What
Mm.
are you getting rid of that you did last year? Because you can celebrate that too. Um, do you have anything you're getting rid of? You're not getting rid of the live. We already know that, Greg.
No. Um, One thing I would like for this year is to be a little bit less busy so that I can prepare for our lives a little bit more. I find the lives creep up every week, and I'm like, crap, I wanted to look at something and didn't have time to because I was busy doing work, and
That
the live comes up, and I'm like, this could have been. I feel all of our lives could be better. It's just me. I try to do things as best as I can, but
mm,
that's one thing. Looking back at last year, the preparation for some of our lives, I would like to have a little bit more time to do that.
interesting. Grim is saying something really cool actually, and she's more excited about this year, which is awesome. Me too. Probably because it's a like it's a whole century change. Century change? No, it's just a decade change. Yeah.
Okay.
But what a wicked decade change. Um, so there's that. But Grim is saying, how much is a smidge? A smidge may change nothing. And that is very true. So this brings up I'm reading the book Atomic Habits, yeah? And so what I'm doing this year is I'm taking my number one goal, having some goals, and then seeing what habits I need to work on, um, with small changes. And I'm asking myself, and it's such a weird question, but it's a good question. I'm asking myself daily, what is something that I can do 1% better today? Um, and honestly, like it's good. It's good to ask that because it's just a little tweak of your life and what you're doing, and I think that's important. So with your situation of the being more prepared or not working so much, or figuring out how you can fit this in, you could figure out where you're doing nothing, right, in your day, and you could slide some like research stuff in there, and that'd be fun. I mean, it might be a little bit concerning because then you might have more opinions, right?
Mm, true. Nobody wants my good opinions.
Right. Hey, Grim, why is it an exciting year next year? Tell us. Oh my God, I so want to know. Um, for me, yeah, I'm hoping to make more money and get healthier. So I'm super excited about those things because I think if I, get healthier for myself, the money will maybe just come, because I'll be more confident and comfortable. Maybe, who knows? But those are kind of my goals, and what
I
worked.
like your 1% better
Right.
analogy because I find a lot of people will um, try to go like cold turkey in doing some how they did something before and doing something a different way, like
Oh
a
yeah.
completely different change, whereas that you may fail at because it's such an extreme change that you're trying to do. Whereas if you said, like, this is how I want to do it, but this is how I'm doing it now, and make incremental changes to get to how you want, you'll create a better routine for yourself to actually do it the way that you want doing it.
Interesting. Yeah, it's so that comes from the book The Atomic Habits.
Hmm.
Um, the other thing is, and it's one of the best things. So because yeah, we can't have that change instant, right? Like we can't be that healthy person instantly. We have to kind of work towards it, whatever our goal is. And I don't know. It's just there's another comment that's said in the book that's like, if you do the small action that is going to help you get to your goal, say you do something little daily, it's a like a tick or a check mark or it's a vote. It's a vote for the you want to become. And I think that's huge, right? You give yourself little votes all day versus like say you want to write a book. Writing every day or 4 times a week will enable you to be the writer you want to be. And it's the writer you want to be, not necessarily writing the book. You want to be the writer, right? So things like that. I think that's really interesting. Grim is saying that she replaced her group. She's doing a lot of things. I'm going to read this more after, but I like it. It looked paid group. Tell me more.
Is that a $1 group? Like it only costs $1 to be in?
How do people do they pay? I had so many questions. Um, Paid groups. Has Facebook rolled that out yet? Hmm. We're gonna have to have some talks on social media stuff. There's stuff for brewing. TikTok, it's all in action. No.
I was on TikTok briefly until I realized it was all tweens.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. It's
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, this is not for me.
well, yeah, and it's also it didn't. So Facebook did it. I'm this the total aside, guys. Facebook did a thing in I think Mexico to copy TikTok, and it was a total fail. Anyway,
Mm,
back to the topic at hand. Okay, so Greg, Atomic Habits. You gonna read the book?
no,
No, you'd love it.
you'll just tell me about it.
I will. Um,
Yeah, it'll save me a lot of time.
well, this year I have the desire to at least listen to one book a month. Um, I'm really excited about that actually. Uh,
I'm really good with habits. I have lots of habits because I'm like mildly OCD, so things
no.
have to be done certain ways for me, and I'm very good at like figuring out how things need to be done to maximize my time. I'm a little anal about that stuff.
Okay, so tell me about one of your habits. Tell
One
me.
of my habits?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know your habits. We don't live.
Well, they're not habits that are written down. They're just the way I work.
Ah, the OCD in you. Yes, yes, yes. Some of us aren't so OCD though. We don't need our pens and
Those,
papers.
those people need to read the book.
No, the book is actually a lot about. Well, it's a pairing of psychology, uh, like behavior and behavior change, um, pairing it with psychology, and because there, I mean, there's so many studies done, right? I don't know if you guys know, but I studied psychology in school. It was awesome, and I love when I come across these books that talk about like Maslow's hierarchy of needs and like all the past stuff, and then the new stuff with psychology, because marketing and behavior and owning a business and succeeding in business is a lot about psychology and how we can change ourselves to be the best ever, right? Right?
Hmm.
So, would you add any habits to your life, Greg, this year that you saw something succeed last year, like the lives here? Would you add those for next year or this coming year? Would you add in lives for your Facebook business page? The answer is no, guys.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
But did you know, Greg?
Everybody knows I will only go live with you or with someone. I'm not a solo live person.
Right? I understand that.
If I did anything by myself, it would be like a recorded video that then I would release, as a for instance.
Right? So anyone who's listening, and specifically Graham, what are you gonna do this year? That worked last year, that you're gonna continue to do or explore further this year. I think that's a really good one. I bloody hell love this time of year, uh, because of the reflections and because of the passion to move forward. I know, Greg, you're just like, it's another day, but it's you get to ask yourself why,
I
right?
mean, I don't get me wrong. I get excited for the new year and somewhat of a fresh start, but you have to make those changes. People have to make those changes themselves,
Mm,
right? It doesn't automatically happen, and I find people posting personally on Facebook and things are all like, "Oh my God, everything's going to be so great," but I think of it as you're saying that, but are you going to change? Are you going to do the things you need to do for it to be different for you? If you don't, it's just another year, and everything in your life will be exactly the same.
well, and this is where reflecting is, I think, the biggest part of life to implement.
Mm.
Whether it be your week or your day or your month or your year or your quarter, I think that'll really help. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the only thing that makes that
as far as business for me as well, my year end isn't the end of the fiscal year or the like December 31st. My year end is January.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
okay. So you're just
Sorry, not January. July.
well.
July 1st is my first day of my business year.
Oh, we'll have to celebrate that, Greg. I'll remember that. July 1st, guys. Remember that.
Canada Day. It kind of sucks because yeah, then I'm doing like year end stuff the day before Canada Day. But as far as days off, who cares?
Yeah. So, Greg, I think I did 51 Facebook Lives in a group with more than one person. And I think you did 50 or maybe 49 this year.
That means I only missed 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You bailed at vacation.
Well, we one week we didn't even do
Yeah, that was Christmas.
for vacation, yeah, for a holiday.
Oh, yeah. You had a staycation.
And then the other one, yeah, the other one was when I was traveling to the island and I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll forgive you this time. Next year, Greg, 50. Going all in, people. As I said, so anybody here who is going to make a change for this coming year and you've reflected on the past, tell us in the comments. I'm going to come back and look at them and read more. Grimm's written some wicked stuff, so I want to know more about that. And yeah, so I think the conclusion, Greg, is when we take time to celebrate the past and reflect on it, it can drive our future to success, right?
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, yeah, so, okay, I know that now goal setting's probably over for people, but I challenge you to keep with your goals by reflecting weekly on how you can improve and do that 1%. Ask yourself that 1% question. You know, how can I be 1% better every day for whatever you're doing? I like it. Yeah, Greg, you should ask that too. Do you know what we're talking about next week, buddy?
Yeah, we're talking about how to do keyword research.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be super fun. Yeah, and I actually have a downloadable checklist.
Mm.
Right? That's right. It was from the course that I did. So if anybody's listening to this and want that checklist, message me. I wonder if anybody will get to the end of this live this week. Anyway, Greg,
Yes.
we have 1 minute. Do you have anything to say to anybody?
Uh,
1 minute.
let's make 2020 real good, guys.
Say it again. Say it again.
I posted something in the group for people's opinion on what they'd like to see in Cyberpunk Geeks this year. So it would be great for people to comment on that. Let us know what you want us to do in Cyberpunk Geeks. Topics. We're always looking for topics for the live. So
Right.
right, go and make a comment, and we'll maybe do that in a future live.
I will pin that in the group. Yes, I will pin that at the top of the group if you guys want to chime in. I didn't see the post really, or I didn't respond, so I'm going to go in there and respond to you, Greg. I know, because you want my opinion. I know you do. I know you do.
You did get access to all the images, right?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, we need an image for the questions before the live post. Paul's here. Hey, Paul. He's saying Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year, everybody. We're so glad you're here and in the group. We can't wait to have another fantastic rockin' year with you. I'm so excited. And anyway, Greg, I'm going to hang up on you now, but on our final words, Greg, don't get captured.
Yes, everybody make good choices.